Sports Illustrated is being accused of publishing product reviews from authors that don't actually exist and had AI-generated headshots. Sports Illustrated parent company, the Arena Group, denies those accusations, and they say the articles actually came from a third party that has assured them that the articles in question were written and edited by humans, not by AI. So joining us now is Todd Spangler. He is the New York digital editor for Variety. Thanks for joining us. And one of the things that this other company, this third party, was saying was that, and they say, you know, we only use experts to write these reviews, but they don't always want their names revealed. And so, you know, the names were just AI and the photos are just AI, but the content is legit. Some people are not convinced by that argument. So I'll just put it out there. But Sports Illustrated, you know, it's not like they're sending out, you know, AI journalists or something like that. It had nothing to do with their regular articles. That being said, I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that AI is used in journalism in many, many different ways. So can we talk about how currently AI is being used?
Yeah, there have been so far, and thank you for having me on today. There have been a couple, you know, what publishers have been calling experiments of AI-generated material. Now, the Sports Illustrated case, as you mentioned, I mean, there's no particular evidence that anybody's found that these reviews were generated by AI per se, but there have been other cases where publishers have put together lists and they've had errors included in them. There was a listicle that this publication IO9 put together of the Star Wars movies and TV shows, and there were several errors. You know, it was indicated and flagged as being written by a bot, but you know, it still didn't pass the quality control test as far as I could tell. So these are, you know, experimental, and the companies that have been found to be doing these sorts of things have kind of backtracked on them and been targeted by a lot of criticism.
So the question, of course, is, as you know, there are an increasing number of people who don't even trust journalists and journalism. And so how can readers be sure that the content that they are reading is not AI generated? I mean, when I first saw the story, it made me think of those ads that you see at the bottom of a lot of newspapers and a lot of online newspapers that look like news stories, and it says, you know, doctors say you should try this, and then you click on it, and it's like clickbait, and it's
very small print, you know, paid for or whatever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And Todd, as you know, you also see it even in television. There's oftentimes I'm watching, and I wouldn't, if I didn't work in television news, broadcast news, I might be fooled when I see perhaps a retired news anchor doing a commercial with graphics that look like a show graphics, with sound bites that look like it's the news. So how can people be sure that they're not being fooled by AI-generated content?
Yeah, no, you make a great point. It's about the trust that you have in a news brand. And, you know, it really comes down to, you know, I think it's common sense, but you want truth in labeling. You want to tell your viewers and your readers exactly what you're presenting, the context in which it's being presented, and how it's generated. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong per se with leveraging AI technologies to produce stuff, but you need to label it and you need to tell people where you got it and where it came from.
Yeah, and in fact,
you know, we all use spell check. That's a form of artificial intelligence, arguably. I mean, what we're talking about is stuff generated out of whole cloth. I mean, that's a different category, but yeah, it's, you know, it should be properly labeled. It should be clearly labeled. And any attempts to mislead people about what it is and where it came from, you know, will not really increase anybody's trust in a media brand.
Right. And in fact, so what we're talking about is like AI actually sort of writing articles. And, you know, it does happen. And it's usually, it has happened in areas when we're talking about maybe local sports teams or local elections, the kind of stories that it's challenging for reporters to get to, but it's just sort of a list of facts. But one thing that AI is really good at is identifying patterns and collecting data. And that is one of the ways that media organizations have really been able to use AI. If there's a string of posts on X about a train derailment and it's coming from all over the place, well, AI can sort of capture that, organize it, and then a real journalist can dig into it and determine whether or not it's actually legit. The other thing that AI is really good at, too, is finding fake news. So there are legitimate ways that a media organization might lean into AI technology and even some generated content. But of course, what you don't want is, making up sources, making up people, certainly not making up authors with headshots.
With headshots.
Yeah, and that's really the red flag here, is that it looked like it was intended to mislead people. And that's, goes back to that question of trust. And I think, when you talk about generating stories with an AI assist, that can definitely be helpful, to really, add a little machine muscle to a human reporter. But I think, what people look at this kind of thing as being is, look, these media companies are trying to cut costs and do more with less, and just have a robot put together some content in a way that's going to spit out some clickbait listicles. And that's really, I don't know how productive or fruitful that's going to be as a strategy.
Todd Spangler, it's a fascinating discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.